All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 14th episode of CC Sports Talk podcast. I've been pushing this podcast back and back and back because I'm reluctant to talk about, the Patriots losing the Super Bowl, but, you got to do what you got to do. But, it was a rough night on Sunday night, and Monday and yesterday, because I just, I can't not listen to podcasts and talk about it, listen to people talking about sports and stuff like that, so I've been having to deal with listening to that, but, it is what it is. They put themselves in that situation, and, now I have to deal with it, but, lots to talk about today. I got a lot of thoughts on the Super Bowl, the whole Super Bowl experience, some stuff in the NBA that's been bothering me. The Bediako thing finally got ruled ineligible, which I'm happy about. I mean, I know, it's kind of not right for me to dance in someone's grave, but at the same time, it's like, he shouldn't have been playing. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We got some Bill Belichick stuff to talk about too at the end. Sorry if you see me keep looking up. Creighton is playing. I'm a big Creighton fan. But, I guess we'll just start with the Super Bowl. It was a very tough watch, very tough time. I did not like watching that at all. I didn't think it was entertaining. The defense played great. Christian Gonzalez played the best game of his career, I thought. I mean, that guy was all over the place, and he was like, he's due for an extension too. So I think he just kind of wrote himself a blank check. It seems like he had an unbelievable, great game. But yeah, and also Craig Woodson, our rookie safety from Cal. When we first drafted him, we didn't know if he was going to be that good, and then he started off the year kind of tough. But he improved so much throughout the year. I mean, he just keep getting better and better and better and better and better. And he's a great building block in the future. He was really good in the run game. In the pass game, he was not very well. I mean, he did okay. He made a couple plays, but I guess according to the film that he could have been better. The problem with the game was obviously the offensive line and Drake May. Let's start off with the offensive line. The offensive line was, terrible. Our right side of the line that has been very, very good all year long has been our building block on the line. This has just not been good. Was just not good. I mean, Oweno was okay. Our right guard, our right tackle, Morgan Moses, had his worst game of the season. And he just wasn't very good, which is too bad because I really like him and I think he's very, very good. He's been dealing with injuries all year long. And he just keeps fighting through it. I don't even think he missed a game. But yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. I hope he sticks around for a little while and helps mentor some of the younger guys like Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, which I'll get into in a second. I'm gonna go off on them a little bit. But I thought Josh McDaniels had a terrible game, and overall I thought he had terrible playoffs. I think his play calling was just so bad. I thought his play calling was like so scared. He obviously didn't trust the offensive line. He obviously didn't trust the quarterback, which is so weird because we had Mac Jones as quarterback and he looked good, and Josh McDaniels trusted him for some reason, and Drake May is light years better than him. But I thought that May. There was plays to be made. There was guys open. I mean, it wasn't all the offensive line's fault. I mean, a lot of it was, but it wasn't all the offensive line's fault. But I just don't agree with the narrative out there that it was like it's Will Campbell was the problem, which he was, and he was terrible, and he's not a left tackle. He's going to be a guard. I know next year, Vrabel already said that he's going to play tackle, which I don't agree with. I mean, he's clearly not a tackle, and he's clearly not very good. But I'm going to get into some personal stuff they were talking about, too, today in the media, or no, yesterday in the media, which I just think is disgusting, which is him and Drake May and Will Campbell were both, bringing up that they had, sorry, the cat's playing with something. Our cats are crazy. Will Campbell, he was like, not to blame my performance on injury, and then Drake May kept bringing up shoulder. And I think these guys were using their injuries as an excuse, which I really disagree with. If you're out there, you're expected to perform and play if you're injured or not. If you're so hurt, don't be out there, don't play. And I hate that. I mean, I think it's a young guy mentality. young kids, especially around our age, and I'm around their age. They like to use excuses for everything and kind of not bite the bullets and not realize they're responsible for their actions and their consequences to their actions and stuff like that. And I know that's a little deep, but that's what happened. Campbell, he played with a torn ligament since he got hurt. I think the problem was he played better competition and he sucked. He's not good enough. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough, and he's just too small. And his short arms are a problem. I mean, they measure it for a reason. I know a lot of people want to poo-poo it away, but they measure it for a reason. So I don't know why everybody's arguing in the beginning of the season, like, what about his arm length now, Christian? What about his arm length now? And all people calling in the radio stations and listening to and stuff like that. But guys, like, at best he was okay. When he played better competition, like Myles Garrett and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Bills, and throughout the whole playoffs, he was terrible, awful. He's borderline unplayable. And I can't believe the sentence is going to come out of my mouth, but Verdarian Lowe was better than him. Verdarian Lowe, the guy who we replaced him with last year. But, Verdarian Lowe didn't have good coaches the last 2 years, and he was a problem. Now he had good coaches this year, and he stepped in when Campbell was hurt, and he played good. So and he's a free agent this year, and I guess rumor has it out there that he might actually get paid, and I don't blame him. If I was Vrabel, I mean I know Vrabel would ever do this because Campbell's like his guy and he wants to stick with his guy and stuff like that. But I thought Verdarian Lowe was the better option at tackle this year, and especially throughout the playoffs. And if Campbell is hurt with a torn ligament in his knee, then why is he out there? Because he's a big tough guy and he can do this. Yeah, I don't buy that. That's crap. But yeah, I don't know. It was very frustrating watching him. And then our left guard, Jared Wilson, who's another guy who's on the bench that's better than him, Ben Brown. I mean, when Ben Brown played when Jared Wilson was hurt this year too, Ben Brown was a better player. This is so frustrating for me because your offensive line and your defensive lines are the most important things in big games. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs last year. They didn't have a good defensive line. They didn't have a good offensive line, and they got killed. They got absolutely killed. Look at the Chiefs when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had a better offensive line, defensive line. Mahomes got killed. The trenches is what wins you Super Bowls. What wins you Super Bowls, and you have the better options on your bench with Verdarian Lowe and Ben Brown, and Vrabel wants to stick with his guys, which I totally understand. And they're young guys. You don't want to kill the conference, which I totally understand. But I think it's a double-edged sword. You got the better players on the bench, and they can help you, help you on there. And Garrett Bradbury, our center, was pretty good, but there's only so much you can do. He's the center. And I thought the bigger problem was too, like Drake May had the second half of the game. He had spots where he had time to throw. He was missing guys, throwing them short, throwing them too long. The turnovers were just horrendous. And I came up with this nickname. I know everybody's gonna hate it, but Fake May, like I love Drake May. I really feel bad for him after the game. He showed how he really cared and he really has feelings, and he really, he's dedicated. He wants to win. And I respect that, and I like that. And I felt bad for him after the game. He was crying a lot after the game. He took all the questions on like Cole Campbell, who ran away, which I think is a very bad sign. That he was the only player in the team that declined to talk to the media. And I think that's a very bad sign. I think it's a really bad sign. I think it shows, he's soft. And I think he is soft. Yeah, I just don't see it with Campbell or Wilson. I mean, I know they're young guys, but Campbell's a guard at best. I mean, I don't even think he can play guard because left guard is still a passing. God, these cats. Left guard is still a passing, like a passing blocking position. Unlike the right guard's a running, like the running oriented guard, versus the left guard's the passing oriented guard. And Will Campbell, if he just gets plowed back, he can't stop anybody. He just can't. He's not strong enough. He's not big enough. He just can't do it. But yeah, and a lot of people want to blame the receivers too during the game, and stuff like that, which I don't understand. I mean, guys were wide open. Steph Diggs was wide open a bunch of times. Mac Hollins was wide open a bunch of times. Austin Hooper got in a bunch of times. Hunter Henry got in a bunch of times. Was wide open a bunch of times. But he's terrible. He can't catch the ball anyways. I don't want him on the team next year. He's awful. he sucks and he's so soft. He's just so soft. When the game gets when the game gets physical, he just can't do anything. He's just so soft. I cannot stand him, and he can't catch the ball. He cannot catch the ball. This year, going to the year, I was like, okay, our one reliable guy for sure would be Hunter Henry, and now at the end of the season, I don't want him on my team next year. He's just terrible. He's just useless. And I thought in our second half of the game, the defensive line of the Patriots too just started not playing very well. So he just started not playing very well at all. Yeah, they just got ran over in the fourth quarter, and Kenneth Walker was way better than I thought he was going to be. I thought a lot of people going in this game was overrating him and the Seahawks and Sam Darnold, which Sam Darnold is still overrated. I mean, did you see the way he played? I'm sick of people saying, like, yes, I like Sam Darnold too, but like I watched the game. He did not play good, and I'm sick of people in the media after the game and people I know like, look at Sam Darnold. Look at Guys, he had a terrible game. He did not do anything. I understand in the NFC Championship game, he played one of the best games in his life. And like I said, I like Sam Darnold. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's probably a top 10 quarterback in the league at this very moment. In the last couple of years, he's been a very good winning quarterback. But he didn't play good in the game. He tried to hand you the game. He almost had like 4 interceptions. And the Patriots kept whiffing on sacks. I know a lot of people said, he eluded the pressure. No, he missed it. The Patriots missed tackles. They did. Our tackling just turned to crap all of a sudden. It was terrible. It just nothing was going well at all. Nothing. Nothing was going all well. And they still had Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt for a little while and wasn't in the game, and they couldn't capitalize on it. It just was so frustrating. And then, their punter was so good. I feel like every time they punted, we got backed into our own end very far. And Marcus Jones in the fourth quarter made a terrible, terrible play where, all year long he's been such a good punt returner. Even when he fair catches the ball, he fair catches them in the right spots. He knows when to let it bounce, knows when not to let it bounce, stuff like that. And he made a mistake and he let it bounce one time and it went all the way to the 3-yard line or something like that. And just we needed field position on our side so badly in that game. We just played so frustrating. And I thought Josh McDaniels too went away from the run. I know we were losing by a lot, but when Stevenson was running the ball, he was playing good and doing good. And Travion Henderson, he's not the best running back. He's not very good, but he played okay in that game. I mean, it wasn't terrible. He could have played better, but he got some yards when he could. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Either Josh McDaniels didn't have the guys ready or on offense, or the guys just weren't ready because they were nervous. The moment was too big for him, which I think is that. Even though I don't like just Josh McDaniels, and I think he was a problem in the game as well. But yeah, I mean, it's so tough to see the way they lost like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through some notes here that I wrote down. Kenneth Walker was better than I thought. I mean, was talking to a family member in this game that Seattle Seahawks fans, and I was like, yeah, I just don't understand where all this hype for Kenneth Walker is coming from. Like, I watch him a lot, and I think he's really good and all, but at the end of the day, he was splitting carries and stuff like that. In the playoffs, he just got unlocked and was way better than I thought. I was so wrong on that. I thought that Seattle defense might be better than Houston's defense, and I thought Houston's defense was the best in the league and one of the best I've ever seen, ever seen in general. I thought they were as good as the 2000 Ravens defense, as good as the 2015 Broncos defense. I thought they were that good, and I think Seattle's defense might be better. I mean, they were just relentless. They were so good, so good. They only blitzed. They didn't blitz. They only rushed 4, which is what Houston did as well. They got to the quarterback so fast. I mean, they were just so good with Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Ernest Jones, their edge rusher there, Hall, and a guy with a funny last name, Boffy or something like that. I don't know. And their secondary is just so good with Woolen and Witherspoon. And when he blitzed, I guess he didn't really blitz a lot all year long, but they were saving this for the playoffs, and he was so good doing it in the Super Bowl. And also, the safeties are so good. And, you saw Nick Ward, he makes some plays even though he was hurt, at Will Campbell, at Drake May. He made plays when he was hurt, and he wouldn't make excuses about it. But you know, I guess, he's tougher than them. I know people don't want to hear that, but let's call a spade a spade. Darnold still was, like I talked about earlier. Darnold was still still old Sam Darnold. Had still some old Sam Darnold in them. He didn't play good at all. I just don't think he played good at all. I think he played terrible, and the running game was so good and the defense was so good it didn't matter. The Patriots were not prepared. Defensively, they were prepared. They could have been better at the run game, but Chase Young just always giving up the edge. Even though I really like him, and Harold Landry's virtually nothing. He's not good at all. I mean, he's terrible. Will Campbell and, like I talked about earlier, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson were disasters. May hurt. Plus, May was definitely hurt. Don't get me wrong. He was definitely hurt. And he constantly was reminding you about it. He had his hurt shoulder. I don't need to hurt, blah, 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 blah. But, you're out there, dude. You got to perform. I don't care if it's hurt or not. You're out on the field. You have to perform. I don't care. You got to perform. Yeah, our defense played great. I thought Gonzalez, Woodson, and the two defense tackles were still good. Even though Milton Williams missed a couple of sacks, but we needed. I talked about the new tight end. I talked about Josh McDaniels being overrated. I thought our run defense collapsed in the fourth quarters. I thought our receivers. I wrote down receivers couldn't get open. Then I watched some of the game back on my phone a little bit, and I remember some game plays. There were a couple plays where Pop Douglas was wide open. Mac Hollins was wide open. Stephon Diggs was wide open. Austin Hooper. I went through it earlier, but Drake May had guys open. He did, and he just couldn't make it happen. He couldn't. He didn't play good enough. The moment was too big for him. And I think the schedule, as much as I pushed it, yes, they capitalized off the bad football, and that's what good teams do. But great teams can still compete with other great teams. And they didn't. They weren't competing. Though offensively, throughout this whole postseason, was one of the worst offensive postseasons of performance of all time. And I'm not making that up. Statistically, it's one of the worst performances all time to make it to the Super Bowl. That team was like Rex Grossman, was like Trent Dilfer, and all these teams going to the Super Bowl because their defense is really good, and that's what happened. The Patriots lucked out a lot with Justin Herbert puking them all over himself, C.J. Stroud puking them all over himself, the Denver coaching staff and Stidham puking all over himself, plus Bo Nix not playing. I think right now Josh Allen and Bo Nix are really kicking themselves because that they probably had a chance to maybe win the Super Bowl because Sam Darnold didn't play good. If good teams with actual good offenses, not fake padded offenses like the Patriots had, would be able to play and probably win the game maybe. I heard Colin Cowherd say, Seattle's this is one of the best teams the last 8 or 9 years. That's not true. What are we talking about? Why is everybody overrating Seattle now? I know they won the Super Bowl. But the narrative going to this game was, there's not one great team. Everybody's just very solid, very good, very, very good. Who's the best team? It's the Patriots, it's Denver, it's Seattle, it's the Rams. Like, what team is it? It's the Bears, it's the Bills. Like, who's the best team? Who was the best team? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Who's the best team? And then the Seattle makes it the Super Bowl. Have you seen these guys? Guys, they just had a really good defense. And their quarterback helped them make to the... Yes, Sam Darnold had a great NFC Championship game. But he didn't really do anything in the game before in the divisional round because he didn't need to because the 49ers were just so bad and so beat up. And then the game after in the Super Bowl, he didn't need to do anything either. And I think that's way overblown and not true about them being the best team out of the last 8 or 9 years. I just don't think that's true at all. I think that, they're a very good team, and I give them their flowers. I know I'm just kind of crapping on them, but they're a really good team. Don't get me wrong, they're a really good team, but they're not. The Chiefs were better than them. The Chiefs, when they had Tyreek Hill, and the Chiefs, when they had Rashid Rice healthy, when they played the Eagles, were way better than him. The Eagles were way better than him, were way better than the Seahawks, I thought. I just think that I don't like that take at all. I think there's way better teams out there. And if there's any Seattle fans listening to this, I think you guys are good. You guys deserve to win the Super Bowl, and I give you guys your credit. I just don't want everybody to go overboard, I just hate how everybody likes to go overboard in sports, and I'm included, But I don't know. I just hate the way. I also hate the way the Patriots are handling this. Vrabel was like kind of saying, no, I think Vrabel doesn't like Will Campbell and Drake May using injuries and excuses, and I don't like it either. But but yeah, I mean, if you're out there, you're supposed to perform. You got to perform. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun game to watch. If you're like defense, a lot of people out there like this is one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched. Blah blah blah. I thought it was like beginning. I said it. Beginning of the episode, I said it wasn't a tough watch, and I'm just saying that because I'm a Patriots fan. And it was very frustrating for me. But it was a good competitive Super Bowl. I like defenses. I like watching defenses play, so it was fun for me. But yeah, I mean, Patriots have so much to build on. I'm not in the camp of you should just be happy they got there. No, I'm not in that camp. And I talked about the podcast before. You know, you make it to the game, you're expected to win. I think that's a built-in excuse to make yourself feel better and make other fans feel better. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. You won 4 games last year. You're not supposed to be here. No, you made it to the Super Bowl. You want to win, and if you lose, you're disappointed, of course. And if you win, you're absolutely pumped up. You know. But overall, it was just very painful. I hated that outcome. I hated the way the game played out. I hated the way Josh McDaniels called the game. Yeah, but I guess we move on. It's hard for me to move on though because I feel like we could have had that game. Really, I feel like we could have had that game. But it is what it is. Congratulations to the Seahawks and their fans. You guys had a great season, a great year, and you guys were a very entertaining team to watch. And like I said, Sam Darnold, had a good year. He's a good player, but he could have cost them the Super Bowl and could have helped us win. And I don't like how the Patriots are kind of relying. You heard reports and stuff in the way they're talking before the game, like they're kind of relying on, Sam Darnold to kind of crap his pants. But what if he didn't? And they weren't prepared for that. And I hate that game plan. I hate the way they coach that. I don't like that at all. They should have been prepared. If Sam Darnold played a good game, what happens if he plays a good game and they don't have any turnovers? They gotta be ready for that. I don't like that at all. I hate that. But it is what it is. We'll be back. I hope. I hope Drake May really learns from this because he's got a lot to learn. I hope Will Campbell and Jared Wilson learn from this because they have a lot to learn, and they have a lot of improvements to make. And we still have a lot of money to spend. We still have a lot of draft picks to pick. I just hope they do the right things, and I hope Kraft doesn't turn cheap overnight like he did last couple of years. And the statistics show he only spends money every 3 years, and he spent money last year, so that means this year he won't spend money. And I don't know. I hope they get Max Crosby, but yeah, we'll talk about that now. Because I'm done talking about the Patriots losing the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it's so painful. But yeah, Max Crosby said that he won't report to the Raiders anymore, and he doesn't want to play a game anymore for the Raiders. He told Brady, I never want to play for the Raiders again. And I really respect that because he's been super loyal to them. He's given so many countless chances, and they just keep kind of spitting in his face. And the way they handled the injuries at the end of the year by sitting him and stuff like that was just not very good at all. And how Bill had problems with Alex Guerrero and stuff like that, and then you see Alex Guerrero was the one dealing with Max Crosby injuries. Then you see that Alex Guerrero is part of the problem of Max Crosby not want to go back because he doesn't want to deal with Alex Guerrero as well, which I love. I mean, Alex Guerrero is such a weirdo. I mean, and it was hilarious because one of the reasons why Bill and Brady didn't get along was because Brady had his own trainer, which was Alex Guerrero, which is the trainer of the Raiders as well now. And Bill didn't want him around the team because he had his own trainers, and he just thought it was distraction and stuff like that. But Brady still took him, and Brady still really wanted that and stuff like that. It's really confusing, but but yeah, we'll talk about. I hope the Patriots gets Crosby too, even though I don't think it will happen because Kraft will never spend the money, and he'll want to sign another contract as well. But he'd be. And supposedly he said he wanted to play for Vrabel too, which I love that. I feel like we're going to be a destination now that we have and we're kind of on the map with a good quarterback and good culture, good coach, um, which is great for us. But yeah, there's another thing I want to talk about in the NBA, which was the Utah Jazz. I'm sure a lot of people have heard the story and seen it on there, but they're really. I've been bashing the NBA all season long, and I'm not going to stop. I think the NBA has been terrible for years. I think it's awful. I think it's a bad watch. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. The stars never play. The good players never play. And I think that the way they're dealing with the money because teams the commissioner doesn't want super teams. He has all the apron tax money and the trades and stuff like that where you have to trade. You can't your trades. You have to match salaries and picks and blah 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 blah. So you can't really get the best trades and stuff like that. We all know this, but that's why the product's so bad and tanking. Tanking is a real big problem, and that's what I'm going to talk about because the Utah Jazz are openly tanking, and when teams tank, they don't really say it or they won't show it or anything like that, but the Jazz are openly tanking. They're getting away from it, and I think it's messing with the integrity of the game. We all saw a trade deadline that Jaren Jackson got traded there from the Memphis Grizzlies. He's a great player, and by the way, the trade was awful because you have to match salaries and have to match players, stuff like that. So the Utah Jazz really gave up, not really much. Memphis gave up Jaren Jackson, but yeah. So Jaren Jackson and their star Lauri Markkanen as well is a really good player. They play their regular minutes throughout the first three quarters. They play their usual time, usual minutes, nothing crazy, nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. And then the fourth quarter hits and they just stop playing them. They don't play no matter what. If they're up by 20, down by 20, up by 5, down by 5, tied, no matter what, they're not playing the fourth quarter because they want to lose. And, the Jazz actually have been winning some games while they've been sitting, which I love. I think it's karma, and I think it's the basketball god saying, this is messed up. You shouldn't be able to do this, and you can't do this, which I love because I agree with it. They shouldn't be able to get away with this. It's messing with the integrity of the game. Every single season, you should try to go out there and win the game, no matter what. And they just have not been doing that, and they just don't do that. But yeah, I think it's disgusting. I think it's gross. I think that's the problem with the NBA is the tanking, and it's just a problem. The NBA is terrible. It's a bad product. It's not fun to watch. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about was Charles Bediako got ruled ineligible. He cannot play for Alabama anymore after going to court and stuff like that. We saw the donor that let him go play for Alabama was also a judge, and nobody knew that. And so they ruled him eligible to play, and then they found out that the judge was an Alabama donor, and then they said, whoa, this is not right. So they brought him back to court, and then they ruled him ineligible, which I think is fair. He played in college. Last time he played in college was 2023. He went to the NBA and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just terrible. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun at all to let pros in college ball. It just shouldn't be fair at all, and they did the right thing by not letting him come back in. Thank God. And one last thing I wanted to talk about was you saw Bill Belichick's girl, Jordan Hudson, or Jordan, whatever you want to say. She was wearing the Orchids Asia shirt, and Orchids Asia is the place where Robert Kraft got caught getting, some inappropriate things done. And he got caught doing it and stuff like that. And, I think it's just gross that the wife was, the girlfriend of Bill was wearing that shirt because, Bill, Kraft can do so many stuff to you too. Spygate, Deflategate, which you were a part of. You don't like to say you're a part of. All this crap you claiming that you have 8 Super Bowls, which is not true. And you're just such a fraud, Bill. You're such a loser and fraud. No one wanted you. No one wanted you at all. No one wanted you at all. Kraft gave you a chance. You turned into be a great coach, but Kraft was the one who gave you a chance. You got fired out everywhere else. You were terrible without Tom Brady. You should be thanking Kraft. You should be bound to him. Okay? You're such a fraud. I'm starting a new thing, fraud of the week or coward of the week. A lot of people call it Fugazi. I'm going to do fraud of the week. It's Bill Belichick. He's fraud of the year. He's fraud of the last 20 years. He's fraud of the last 30 years actually since he started coaching. He's such a fraud. I just can't stand him. I can't stand him, and I'm thankful for everything he's done for the Patriots, stuff like that. But I'm also not thankful for it, and I can never forgive him for pushing out the greatest quarterback of all time. And I can never forgive him for the last like 10 years where he just constantly messing up our team, messing up everything. I mean, oh, I can't stand Bill. I can't stand him. He's such a fraud. Such a fraud. And without Brady, he's nothing. He's nothing. He's nothing. He needed Brady. But yeah, I mean, oh, no, he's just such a fraud. But yeah, I'll do a podcast maybe this weekend. I'm gonna get in college basketball a lot more. Now that basketball's over and I can really football's over and now I can really focus on college basketball. But yeah, I mean, it was a great football season. I loved it. This is like a hard time for me when football ends. But it's always a little bit better because I got college basketball around the corner, and then college basketball ends, and I'm like, oh my god, what the hell am I supposed to watch? And I like baseball. I like baseball a lot, but the Red Sox aren't going to be probably that good this year. But yeah, it was a great season, very fun, a lot of entertaining stuff. I liked the league this year, even though a lot of people didn't. There's a lot of parity around the league, and a lot of teams are equal and balanced, which I really like. I like when everybody has a fair chance, where it's not just the Chiefs or like Patriots winning the Super Bowl every single year. I like that. Even though I would want the Patriots to win the Super Bowl every single year. Just you guys know what I mean. But yeah, thanks for checking out the episode. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Give me some feedback, ask me questions. Whatever you guys want to do. But thanks for coming again. I'll see you next episode. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.